Welcome to this episode of Ink It Up with Jessica TV. I'm Jessica Taylor, and today I'm going to share with you a fun nesting dies technique that was inspired by Andrew Granick. He's at Andy Granick over on Instagram, and he does this really fun rainbow strip technique with nesting dies. So I wanted to keep it a little bit simpler, so I didn't do the rainbow part that he does, but I did take my nesting dies and cut different colors and played with the different rings, and I just love this technique. So you're going to need some nesting dies, and by that I mean dies that are the same shape that fit inside each other. So I'm using the stitched shape framelits from Stampin' Up, and they come in oval, square, or circle. You could use any shape. I just use circles because I thought that was the most fun. To cut my circles, I'm going to use the magnetic platform for the Big Shot so that they stay in place, a clear cutting pad, and the flatter the better. You really want it to not be warped so that your dies will stick to the magnets and stay in place. I'm going to cut some Bermuda Bay cardstock, and then I'm just going to slide all my dies off and put them on my cardstock. You might not want to cut right in the middle of your cardstock, but for this example, I'm going to. And you can see that, like here, they're off center. For the example, for the card, I have them perfectly centered. So what you want to do is just slightly move them so that they're all kind of having an even ring around them when they're inside of each other. You're going to kind of start from the outside and then go to the inside and just make sure there's an even ring. Now, if they're not perfectly centered and you get them off center, it's no big deal. I just want to show you these. I purposely cut off center just to see what would happen. And you'll just see that the circle's not in the middle. It's kind of more offset, and that's a really cool look too. So don't really overthink it or worry about it too much. But then you're just going to go ahead and put another clear cutting pad on top of this and run it through your Big Shot. Once you have all your circles cut in a variety of colors, you're just going to decide which rings you want to be which color. So you can alternate them. You can just do two colors like I did with the Melon Mambo and Gorgeous Grape, or you can use 3 or 4 colors. You just want to make sure that you have different colors in different size circles so that you can layer them together. Once I've decided the colors that I want for my circles, I wanted to pop this up on my card, and to make it easier to tape it all together, I cut a scallop circle that is just a little bit smaller than the biggest circle because I don't want it to show it all. I just want it to be able to be a base that I can tape all my pieces onto. I did it in white. You could do it in white or you could do it in any of the colors of your circles. It's not really going to show through. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this pretty thoroughly with adhesive, and really any kind of adhesive you prefer will work. I like to use a double-sided tape like snail. Make sure you get out to the edges. And then I start with my largest one to make sure I'm covering up the whole scallop. And then work my way in. These layer really nicely together, and most layering or nesting dies will. And then I'll finish up with my circle right in the middle. And then I'm ready to put my card together. For the background of my card, I wanted to emboss this piece to add a little interest. So I decided to use my Maps, etc. embossing folder. You just put your cardstock inside, close it up, put it on the Big Shot platform, and put one clear cutting pad on top, then run that through your Big Shot. When I was first making this card, I was going to go with Bermuda Bay on a Bermuda Bay card base, but you can see how much that extra layer of black just really makes the card pop. I'll have all of the dimensions for these pieces down below the video. Once I've taped all of my card base pieces together, I'm just going to put some Stampin' dimensionals on the back of my circle. And then a little trick for getting the backing off of these is to just put your fingernail right in the center, and it makes the edges pop up, and then they're easier to get off. And then I'll just mount that right on the front of my card. I need to push down on my circles a little bit more because they are not staying as stuck as I would like them to be. So give it a good rub once you have everything in place to make sure that all of your layers stick together. The birthday stamp that I'm using says happy birthday, but I only want the birthday part of it. So I want to show you a little trick with washi tape on how to get so that you can just stamp the birthday without the happy. On my stamp, I'm just going to add a little bit of washi tape so that it covers up the happy, the part of the stamp that I don't want. So now just the birthday is there. I am using my Stampin' jig so that I get it in the right spot, and I already have that set up. So then I'm just gonna ink up my happy birthday stamp with Gorgeous Grape, and here's the important part. You have to remember to remove the washi tape, and then you'll just stamp it down. And there's my birthday without the happy. The final piece that I need for this card is the black happy, and I'm using a die for that says happy. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my magnetic platform with a clear cutting pad, a black piece of cardstock, my happy die, and then another clear cutting pad on top. I'm going to run this through my Big Shot 3 times so that I know I'm getting a really good cut. Then I'll lay it on my Big Shot mat face down and rub my brush across the top of the die. This is just going to help to push out all the little pieces. And there's my happy. Now I'm ready to tape these last pieces on. I'm just going to tape the birthday piece on with my snail adhesive, my double-sided tape. Put it down kind of in the corner there. And then for my happy, I like to use my fine tip glue. However, I find if I squeeze it directly out of the bottle like you're supposed to, I get a lot more than I bargained for sometimes. So I like to just use a toothpick. And using a toothpick allows me to get some glue along the edge of it, so I can just kind of wipe the toothpick along the back of the thin letters. And that's gonna get enough that it's gonna stick, but not too much that it's gonna kind of leak out and make a mess all over the place. Once I have the glue all over the back of the lettering, I'm just gonna flip that over and place it down on my card. Push that into place, and then I'll let this fine tip glue dry for a little bit. Ooh, on this one, I put my happy at a little bit of an angle, and I really like that. I really hope that these fun colors inspire you to go and make a card and send it to a friend this week. Happy stamping!